well and tries to cut some in. Closes up on him.
Looking for an excuse to buy a new Vizio? At only $5.99, you don't have to make excuses. Go to Vizio.com and see how Vizio is making HD TV a possibility for everyone.
Vizio.
There's definitely not enough explosives.
Yes,
That's a
explosion from the tank, but
That's a
it's
tank.
in reverse.
With a chef's hat on it. We don't have a chef's hat.
All right, so this is
What's going on here?
well, this is Kathleen, and she's pointing at a guy with a gun. It's a
Is that
happy-
CG
Yeah.
AC Slater on a tank? Or is that the real AC Slater on a
Can we
tank?
get Mario Lopez?
Like Ray Barnholt in the demo room with a copy of My Summer Vacation for PS3.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. So what the hell's going on over here?
Wait, is this an explosion? Maybe like in the foreground over here, with like some sweet depth of field, out of focus shit, we'll have some grenades. AC Slater can ride on it.
General AC Slater.
Yeah.
Dynamite. We don't have the dynamite
You guys,
yet. We need to test.
Sorry to interrupt the
Yeah.
writers' meeting. Am I pointing at a guy with a dick in a box?
No, that's a pistol.
Yeah.
It
It's a
doesn't
gun.
matter.
I just don't do art very
We
well.
gotta stop all this. The WGA decided to go on strike.
The Women's Golfing Association?
No,
what does that have to do with
the Writers Guild of America? The game segments will be fine, but the narrative stuff that we
Yeah.
write,
We're in a union?
I didn't know that I joined
Can I
any
keep
sort of-
coloring?
Is this like a guild?
you can keep coloring, Patrick.
Oh.
Even though they haven't technically let us in yet, I think we need to support them, and we've got to go on strike too.
But like,
We have to go into reruns right now. Like, we're breaking the rules.
Right
reruns
now?
have to start now.
Hey, I don't wanna go to work today. Wanna stay home and play all my video games on the One Up Show. You know you'll be a star on the One Up Show. You already are. Every day, this life's a holiday. One up, 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 one up on the One Up Show. One up, 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 one up on the One Up Show.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
That's how you treat all your toys. Can't get you anything nice. Speaking of breaking things, I heard you guys kept breaking controllers when you were playing the game Call of Duty 4.
Blow the charge. Breaching! Go! Clear!
Remember that time when you
I
guys
didn't-
both insisted on playing on the hardened difficulty?
I didn't break any controllers, but I kicked some boxes around and I generally got very angry. I know you did.
You got through it way faster than I did. I must have spent what 5 hours on that.
I heard you
5
on the
hours.
other side of the office blowing up.
But seriously, so when the guys from Activision and Infinity Ward came by, they insisted that we play the game on hardened difficulty, which is like the equivalent of heroic, to enhance the fun. But I think there's a few points where that actually takes away from the fun because the game,
Yeah.
like the past games, it's very scripted still. I mean, I think you got more, and during the single player campaign, you've got more options this time. There's like a level where you can kind of determine which houses you want to scour through to find, to try and rescue this guy. But still, it's a lot of like, you go into an area, enemies pop up behind the same things.
Whereas if you start off on the normal difficulty, you're going through for the first time, you don't know what the parameters are, you don't know the exact way to solve it, and you don't know where the enemies are coming from. And that's kind of the better challenge, I thought. And it's kind of a backfire if they recommend that you play in the hard difficulty, because the hard difficulty, you will be repeating this stuff because you're learning it. You're like trying to find the solution for this scene. If you're going to play through it first on normal.
Oh, definitely.
and enjoy it. And then you challenge yourself.
95% of the time, the solutions are fun to find. The combat is really good.
Absolutely.
You know, Crispin was talking about how the guys always pop in the same spot. They always pop in the same spot, but especially in the open areas, where they move after that is not completely determined. I mean,
Right.
sometimes they'll flank. They use good maneuvering.
They'll react to what you do. So if
They
you change
completely
up
react.
your tactics, then they'll change it up. But he's right in that it always starts off at the same thing.
So that's the high point: is when the scenes work, when the solutions work, you get that great cinematic experience. But when they don't, like you said, the backfire is complete and total failure. So
Especially on the harder
yeah,
difficulty.
and because you don't know what you're trying to do, you don't know what the solution points are, you don't know what's going to trigger the end of the end or the I win moment, and that's really a drag, especially when you're just pounding and pounding and pounding, like, oh my god, I have to do this again.
The objective variations I thought were really well done too, because you are destroying like tanks and you're calling in airstrikes, but it's always under different circumstances, and you always are like, sometimes you're on the offensive, sometimes you're like on the defensive trying to survive, and it always feels like it's something fresh.
Well, there's so much variety in the levels. I mean, because, you know, like the past games, you play from different nations' perspectives. But in this one, you're kind of going after a similar goal, and you're like leapfrogging all around the country. But there was one level that I really liked, where you spend it's like after a helicopter crash, and you're trying to escape from enemy territory. So you spend the first part of the level trying to escape. And then the next level, you're in a C-130 gunship, one of the most realistic levels I've ever seen in the game. Like, if you go on YouTube or whatever and watch footage from, you know, the Middle East or whatever, and then you play this level, you're like, wow, that's really realistic. And, you know, it's got the whitewashed graphics, and you see the little guys running around. And
Mentally, it was such a change of pace. That was my favorite part of the game too.
Yeah.
Is that it's such a change of pace, and it happens right after this really intense series of firefights.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just chilling, like on a gunship, and it's like, oh, there's some guys. Kill them.
Good kill, good kill. There's armed personnel running out of the church. Get that person. Get back on those guys. Okay, he's moving again. Kaboom.
yeah.
Well, and the
Got 'em.
radio chatter is what
Yeah.
sells it the most. Is,
Oh, yeah.
oh, there's another one. Wasted him.
Bingo.
I'm thinking to myself, like 5 minutes ago, I was watching these guys with blood and crap flying everywhere, and now it's like, oh, there's another. Oh, frag them good.
Yeah, and you can totally feel yourself getting relaxed, like relaxing after the firefight.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost
oh,
like
God.
I'm in this, like, I feel like now I'm in this air-conditioned airplane, just manning turrets, blasting guys, and everyone's relaxed, everyone's making, like, cracking jokes, you're blowing guys up. But it's just so crazy because you're actually defending your guys on the ground who you were playing in the level before. So it's like such a, you know, in terms of, like, trying to present what modern warfare is like, I mean, I think it does a cool job of showing, like, the different sides of it.
Yeah.
You know, in the prior Call of Duties, they had the 3 disparate sections, but here, much like they have the C-130 part tied into the squad that was on the ground, they also tie the 2 stories together well, so you feel like you're part of this global conflict.
Right.
Bravo 6, we're taking heavy fire on our position north of the overpass! Where the hell are you? We're almost there. Hang on.
You know, people have seen how pretty the game looks, and you can see that in all the videos, but what you might not have gotten a chance to really get into is how good the sound is in the game. It totally shocked me to be inside buildings, especially in 5.1, and not just hear the gunfire and what's going on outside, but hear jets with the Doppler effect going over outside and occluded by the roof, like sounding one way as the jets are going by. I hear the Doppler effect. I walk through the doorway, and the sound is different because I'm no longer enclosed.
And it lasts as it flies over. The sound lasts and lingers for a full 30 seconds to a minute after it goes by, just like you would hear like the Blue Angel flying over.
It's amazing sound design. It also got to the point where by the end of the game I didn't have to look at my weapon. I knew from the sound of the firing pin and the report of the gun, I knew exactly what I was carrying all the time just from that.
Just total, complete polish, audio, visual, 60 frames per second. It would hitch a little bit in like the rougher like airstrikes and big firefights, but almost flawless, I think.
Yeah, pretty amazing engine. Pretty amazing engine.
That's funny aside. I think we were all playing this the weekend that the Blue Angels were here.
Yeah.
Yes.
During the Fleet Week, so it kind of added to the authenticity. And that might have been what you were hearing, but I don't know.
So that's what was rattling the windows. Oh man, I knew that was
Rock You
real.
Like a Hurricane was playing the entire time. That was an interesting music choice for them.
Finally, we're together. I mean, together, like, it's us. I want you to know how special you are to me. I just feel so alive when I look at you. You know, I see things now that I didn't see before. I have a sense of clarity and purpose. It's like destiny, you know. I feel like I'm the one that's discovered beautiful and perfection. I want to climb to the top of Everest and say, I know what beauty is. I am in love with the Vizio.
Vizio.
Everybody that's here should, if you honestly sat down and took the time out of work and out of your day to sit down, you should get one. And if you did, and you got a bum or somebody doing something, then it ain't going down like that, because I'm not getting punked out of anything. I'd rather fight, go to jail, than have somebody cut in front of me. That's how serious it is with me.
Wait, but people don't want to buy it to play it?
Man, people are buying this thing and put it on eBay and cash out, bro.
How much do you think it's gonna go for?
2 racks, 5 racks, 2 racks, 3 racks, 5 racks.
Anything. The thing is though, like, okay, so these lines right now are performed all over the country.
Yeah.
Right now.
I mean,
like,
right now.
So if there's this many people waiting in line right now to sell it, what happens if the majority of these systems end up on eBay?
They don't matter.
Yeah,
The demand's too high.
I mean, are you guys worried at all about the market oversaturating?
No. Everybody's worried about their pockets, bro. This is America. This is America. Free country, do what you want to do. I'm a businessman. I got like people with me standing in line that they are in their line, and I gave them money. Okay. Some of it, I'm keeping one, and I'm giving it to a poor family. The other ones, I'm cashing them out.
So you got the list.
He really did the list. He honestly did the list, and I was like, "What are you doing? You work for him?" He did the list earlier today.
All right, one at a time.
When the line opens up at 8 a.m., you can either be there or you could be there.
Oh no!
And they don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh no!
I know what happened. Oh, if it's gonna be like that, then I'm gonna go grab 30 of my friends, and there's gonna be a lot of chaos over here, and ain't nobody gonna get nothing. I'll make a phone call, brother. You make one too. I could have a lot of people.
I need to get on that list. I need to be, but I need, what time? I'm late for one up. Okay. So what we need to do is, how much do I need to pay you to get a good spot on that list? What if I will give you $3,000 cash to be number 5 on the list?
I'm number 5 on the list, actually, and it's all right.
It's funny how it works out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you selling it or keeping it?
I'm keeping it. I'm not selling it.
You'd rather have a PS3 than $3,000 cash right now. Deal or no deal?
Actually, I'll keep the PS3.
All right.
Sorry.
You're a good man.
Okay.
Nights on Saturn still look so good. Very few of the games that came out around that time still look as good as this does now. I mean, it is smooth. That ribbon effect is cool. Those backgrounds are really well designed.
I mean, there are frame rate hiccups and stuff, but I think a lot of why it looks so good is because it's so smooth. I mean, I was messing around with the Wii one earlier, and I like that just because it's more of it.
Since 11 years there's been an 11-year gap between the development of the first game and Journey for Dreams for Wii. A lot of new possibilities have become possible. Are there any specific things that you can talk about now, that like ideas that you would have wanted to put in the original one for Saturn but couldn't, and are finally able to realize now?
そうですね、もうだからほとんどがそうですよ。何せ11年前のゲームなので、そのテクニカルなことではなくて、11年前は本当にアクションゲーム当時はユーザーへのこの 親切設計とかそういうのが足りなくて、そうですね、この物語を語るという意味でより充実したものが作れるようになりましたし、もちろんプラットフォームですね、Wii という新しい機械によってこの世界の広がりですとか大空を飛ぶ感覚ですとか、そういうところが飛躍的に良くなったと思います。
One of the things that made the first nights so awesome was the soundtrack, which sounded festive, it sounded cutting edge because it was using like modern dance sounds at the time, and a lot of it still sounds like really fresh now. And the vocal tracks were really good as well. And especially the opening theme nights, I think that, along with the original Pan's Dragoon theme and Grandia theme, were like the three best theme songs of the 32-bit era. Are you working with the same composers on the new soundtrack?
はい、そうです。畑谷というセガの、コンポーザーがいまして、それとあともう一人佐々木というこれ今はもうセガではなくてフリーで活躍している、作曲家なんですけども、この2人が、前作のナイツのメインのコンポーザーだったんですけども、今回も、続編を作るにあたって、まず真っ先に2人に声をかけて、またナイツサウンドを作ってくれないかというふうにお願いしています。
The new Nights is not that much different than the original Nights in terms of theme. It's just that
like story, theme, cutscenes, all that stuff is very similar. It's very much like playing up the dream concept in every part of the game. And
I kind of feel like they probably should have really gone off in kind of a new direction, like the Nights formula. But I don't know. Some of it feels a little bit too close to what I remember.
I mean, because you only ever had the one game with it, right?
Yeah.
There was never like
8
versions of Nights, and it was a great game, and there was only like 7 levels or something. So to have more of that is great, especially after this much time.
All right. So I'm cool with the whole just basic game being like the original. Some people might say it's too close to the original. Some people may or may not like the new minigames.
Boat Nights.
Boat Nights.
That's what it's called.
Oh my god. When Nights was announced, and before it actually came out, a lot of people, a lot of gamers, kind of expected it to be Sega's answer to, like, then rival Nintendo's Super Mario 64. How did you feel about that? Did you think that was kind of like an unfair expectation when you were just trying to do your own thing?
対決っていうこちらとしては別にそういうつもりはなかったし、ナイツっていうのは他にない空を飛ぶタイプのゲームで、他と比べる対象物がないようなユニークなタイトルなんて、特に他と比べてどうこうという気持ちは持ってないです。
Was the Sega Saturn hardware so difficult that it would be hard for us to it would be impossible to expect like a port of the original Nights?
セガサターンっていうハードがすごい特殊なハードだったので、なかなかバーチャルコンソールみたいにポーティングするのはすごく難しい
Is that applicable to just about any Sega Saturn, or is it more applicable to 3D Saturn titles? Because if it was originally designed as the ultimate 2D machine, so would like 2D games be relatively easy to port, but 3D games a problem?
そんなこともないですね。だからセガサターンもタイトルにもよると思うんですけど、移植しやすい風にプログラムを書いてるソフトは、実際コンバートできてるタイトルとかもありますし、ナイツの場合は当時中さんがメインプログラマーでもうハードの性能を引き出そうとすごいかなり特殊なプログラムを組んでますので、より一層ナイツの場合はボーディングが難しい。
Alright, so it's been 11 years since the original Knights first came out on Saturn. What made this the right time to bring Knights back?
そうですね、じゃあ、オリジナルナイツを作った後も何度も、次のナイツを作りたいっていう気持ちは持ってまして、で、タイミングを見てセガにアプローチはしてたんですけども、Wii というプラットフォームが登場したことと、あとそうですね、ソニックフランチャイズ、私ずっとしばらくソニックフランチャイズのタイトルを作ってたんですけども、やっぱりソニックをこう盛り上げていかなきゃいけないっていう、一つの責任がありましたので、それが、今ソニックフランチャイズタイトルがすごく充実してきたことで、私にもナイスを作るチャンスがまた巡ってきたと。
It's interesting that they kind of waited for the Wii to do Knights because the game doesn't really use the motion controls that much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that option if you want to play by like pointing at the screen and like showing him where to go.
Yeah.
But that's kind of silly. That's like not the way to play. Like
Yeah.
the default is just playing like you used to, except you use the remote for doing your acrobatics. So I mean, it doesn't need that, and it's like it's more going for the kind of audience that is getting the Wii rather than the actual technology of the Wii.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the game does well enough for them to conjure up a sequel, within the next 3 years or something, because that would be cool. I mean, they had no problem beating Sonic to death, and there's plenty of Sonic games on the horizon. So hopefully, they can invest a little time into making some more Knights games,
Yeah.
Am I even going to be able to play Crysis with an ATI video card?
No.
No?
It's like, I don't know, 15 frames a second or something. The price of entry is like, I would say at least 8,800, you can go to like 7,800 or something, but you're gonna have an issue. But then don't even do ATI, it's just not suited for the game.
Is it not worth playing it, or is the game still good enough that...
I think it's worth waiting, because it's kind of like, I don't know, if there's some movie you really anticipated and it was like a special effects showcase,
sure,
and you knew you could watch it on like some busted ass, tube TV, or you could wait however long and then watch it on like an HD screen or something, it's kind of like, it's important. I mean, if you play it, whatever, next year at some point, it's still going to look better than anything out.
Right.
I'm confident in that. I mean, everything we've seen for the big games of 2008, nothing looks as good. But when you take in the scope of everything, the interactivity of everything, the way that, light passing through trees, the way that light's filtering through waters of differing quality, like if you're in a muddy-ass river or if you're in a clean bay or something, next year I don't see anything rivaling it.
Graphics are one thing, but that's not what draws you and I to a game like this. It's really about the open world and being able to tackle objectives in many different ways, any way that you see fit, and playing the game in a number of different ways as well.
Right. A couple things here. We can't talk about the game after a certain point. And
That's
this has to
because
do
there's an embargo. They're just not going to let us talk about it.
embargoes and stuff, and that's difficult because you really, I think, to look at this game the right way, you have to approach it holistically, with the stipulation that we're just talking about the first 2/3 of the game, maybe one half of the game. That everything about that gameplay makes it fantastic. But to say, you can't dismiss the graphics. Its style is substance insofar as you're supposed to be somewhere. It wants to put you in this place and make you feel like you're really there. And what happens then is that when visually that illusion is complete, where you're not thinking like, okay, this is a game world and this kind of object does this, but you got this complete impression that, okay, this is a satisfying illusion, I'm in this world, and all the things that you do then become, I think, they become more interesting and more exciting,
Because it's almost instinctual, because you're reacting to the environment, and because the environment is so alive with options that you just can attack it any way that you want.
Still have an active AAA in the valley. Take it out so we can send it on birds.
In Call of Duty, you're talking about how, hey, remember this awesome part where the helicopter came in and tore up the building and fell apart and the guys, they killed the guys and this and that. And here, when you talk about it, your experience is more like, well, I knew there were so many guys in this enclave, and I did not want to fight them all. So I went inside of this building and I stuck C4 on all the walls. And then I started knocking stuff around and creating noise, drew them in there, and then I put my cloaking on, so one of the nanosuit parameters, slipped out the back door, and then blew the whole thing up. And then again, the graphics come into play because when you blow it up, the entire place collapses. And then on the bigger spectrum, it could be, more on the GTA side, it would be like, well, I have X number of optional objectives, and I decided to go over here and do this, or I decided to get to it by boat, or by road, or by truck, or by a tank. Every time you play, you can do something entirely different, and the experience is going to feel different because of it. It's so natural, and the ecology changes.
I mean, we've seen the snow levels later on, but other than that, I mean, it's been looking pretty much like Far Cry.
As you move inland or something, everything just starts to gradually change, and so it's not just the palm groves and stuff. You move into, banana plantations and mangrove swamps and big grassy plains, valleys, surrounded by, the mountains and stuff, and even that, deciduous forests in some parts of the island, and even though we're talking small changes, we're not like, although there is an ice level in this game, the difference between Fire World,
Right,
Ice
Fire
World,
World,
Upside Down World, or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like a really nice organic variety. There's some, there are issues involved in it. Part of it's the fallout of when you have that kind of environment and you have AI, it has to understand its environment, and the more refined, the more limited the scope of your environment, the easier it is to make it do smart things.
Right, exactly.
And like Fear is a perfect example of it. It has phenomenal AI, and it has an environment that's just made precisely to facilitate it doing those smart things. But now when you've got this environment where you can be behind them, you can run full speed at them, go to strength and super jump over their heads, there's a lot of room for it to go wrong. Sure. So occasionally it will. The old stuff, you see someone on a hill, you start shooting them, and he's like, he gets hit, but then he just kind of goes back to like, yeah, I'm just chilling, getting hit. Sometimes it will be like there's a switch, like Splinter Cell, you know, where it's aware of you or it's not aware of you, or it's like not aware of you, but it's like looking for you, and it's kind of just does generic stuff. It's not looking to see if there's blood on leaves and if there's a branch that you broke here in the way that Crytek was saying it would, you know.
So it's not as smart as they made it out to be initially. Not that you know, maybe
we'll have to talk about this after the embargo, but yeah, there's a lot of questions I think I have. But so for, you know, the strengths of the AI, I mean, there will be circumstances where you just cloak and then they're still looking around you, you know, and it seems just right. You get that perfect tension where they're going just by you. I've had, you know, circumstances where like even 3 and 4 prong pincher tactics where you stir up everyone, and instead of them going to just these fixed points and posting up and having a firefight from there, you have to just continually check every direction because they will be coming around from all sides. So we have so many of these shooters and these different subgenres all coming out at the same time. Sure. It's a perfect time to you just play one day you play one, next day you play another, and you can't help but compare them, you know. Not necessarily for better or worse, but for very distinct styles of making shooters, you know. And then Call of Duty, it will be very like, you're in this one area and the guys are going one direction and they're looking for you and they'll pass or something like this. Here, they're persistent and they'll continue to dog you, and it's just great. Then you just all of a sudden pop out of the bush behind them invisible, grab them by the neck, and then throw them into their friends.
Hey, Jessica, we find you!
There are definitely levels in the first part of the game that are among my favorite now in any FPS. I mean, where I'll like want to refer to them. And it's hard because it's just a PC game, and of course, like 360 is another big platform for shooters. And when all the people in the office and, you know, message boards and stuff have discussions about what good shooters in each subgenre are, you know, what constitutes and stuff, I really think you have to play, however good it is in the end, you have to play Crysis to be an informed participant in these discussions from this point forward. It shows so many possibilities, you know, even if it's not all there yet. Like, there's so much that it does that you just have to sort of experience it firsthand if you want to talk about them and it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Blockwell tries to cut
Looking for an excuse to buy a new Vizio? At only $5.99, you don't have to make excuses. Go to Vizio.com and see how Vizio is making HD TV a possibility for everyone.
Vizio.
Man, this is super, super sad.
You guys, reruns kind of suck.
I've seen this already.
When was the 1UP show so fucking emo?
I think that was before you got here.
Yeah.
We're a bit sillier now, I guess.
We're zany.
When we're allowed to write stuff, right?
We have to support the strike.
Why?
Okay, reruns aren't really working. We'll figure out something for next week. I'll find something.
And we didn't get our grenades yet either.
Tuesday?
They're on order.
Anyway,
everyone wants grenades.
The show's basically over. Shouldn't we just give up on this one this week?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta get going. I got band practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Beard Rock? Yeah, Beard Rock.
Yeah, Beard Rock's still in first place.
You better be.
I know. I mean, my beard growing potential's not quite there yet, but we're going against GameSpot in the finals, and they don't fucking stand a chance.
Nice.
Nice.
So I'm gonna
When's
go
it start?
It's right now, actually. So I'm gonna, go forth and rock.
Do you mind if I come watch?
Yeah, come on. Let's rock.
Yeah, I saw that last week.
Fun is threatening my very life today. Woo! Give me shelter. Woo! Oh, I'm gonna fade away. Whoa, children, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. It's It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. Until you love, sister. It's just a kiss away. 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 Kiss away. Kiss away. Yeah.
No cameras today. Sorry. Close set. Sorry, no cameras today. All right, you gotta go. Go. That's it.